Hey everybody, Alex Terrace here, just doing a video on the SEFI function, as you can see right here. And this is the subtle energetic imprinter, frequency imprinter. I'm just going to show you how to do an imprint and how you can imprint different frequencies into a variety of different things. So the first thing to note is if you click on SEFI imprinter here, you'll notice that some of these are not quite as bright blue. These are functions that come with the advanced and the pro level, and there'll be probably a couple more programs as well added on here with the pro level subscription, and we're hoping to have that out in November, so quite soon of 2020. And so currently what you're looking at is basic subscription mode, where we have two programs highlighted here that are accessible. A lot of people have asked about how you imprint things, how you imprint frequencies and things like that. These would be the top two buttons right here. And let me just click on imprint here. So it's divided up into two sections. So the thing to note is that if you want to put frequencies into something, you would put that object or that substance, let's just say, on this top section right here, okay? And so let me give you an example. So if you ended up choosing, let's hit the little back button here, go back to our main screen. So if you clicked on quantum frequency, for example, and you clicked on acute pain, with SEFI you can first off transmit the frequency, the therapeutic frequency for acute pain in this example, by hitting the play frequency button. See that right there? Pretty simple. And if you can hear this, there is actually also an acoustic wave generated frequency that is associated with that. Now it's up to you if you want to listen with some headphones, that's fine. You can kind of start to get a little intense after a couple minutes, and honestly that's enough. Just to have heard it. What you can do with the SEFI though is, because it's actually transmitting on other bandwidths from your device, you can continue to just hit play frequency, and if you want to dial down the sound here until you don't hear anything, it still will work. It's not required that you hear the sound. Some people feel like at least hearing the sound for the first couple minutes enhances the effectiveness. And I suppose in something in the case of like some sort of acute condition, maybe you can give that a try. It's open to experimentation as far as listening to it versus just transmitting it without hearing any sound, and see what gives you better results. Okay, so again, you can actually push play on this, and you can run for this particular symptom. Now, what you might not know is that you can actually stack these frequencies together. So you can hit this back button right here. And we're going to actually have an easier interface where you can stack the frequencies, and there's an actual button for that. But as I hit that back button, do you hear what's going on here? The frequency is still running. So I like, when I'm stacking frequencies, to keep the sound up where I can actually hear it. And then you hit the SEFI button again. Now you go back to where you were before, quantum frequency program, and you pull this pull down menu here. And now let's say we want to add in, oh gosh, I don't know, there's so many options. Arthritis, okay. And now what happens when we push the play frequency button? Can you hear that now? How it changed the sound? That's because now it's playing two frequencies at the same time. You can keep on adding them, although I will say that now if you hit stop, by the way, on that with the current interface, it stopped the current arthritis, but it did not stop the previous one that I had programmed in there. So it actually keeps on going, and you can still hear that sound. So if you ever need to stop all of the different stacked frequencies, what you would actually have to do is close the app and open the app again, okay? And then you can start over. So what I will recommend is I wouldn't pick more than like 3 conditions. Your body really can only do so many things. So just kind of prioritize, maybe run something for 10 minutes or 2 minutes or 2 hours, I mean, whatever it is, and then work on a couple other things. So maybe stack like 2 to 3 different conditions, or just do one at a time. If your body's pretty worn down in general, just with some chronic health issues, you may only have the energy resources really to work on one condition or symptom at a time. So don't get too carried away. If you're going to do like 10 things, your body is, not going to be able to do everything, all at once. So anyways, that's how you stack frequencies. Now, we will also have a clear interface because you wouldn't know that if you also push play right here. If you put something right here, like any kind of object right below the screen, it could be the necklace that we sell, the bracelet, the foot insoles. It could be sugar pellets, could be water, could be all kinds of stuff. You can actually imprint the frequency from whatever you choose here by just putting it right here, just placing it on your device. Okay, so we will actually have like a box there because you wouldn't know unless somebody told you, like me. So let's go back to SEFI again. Now let me tell you one other thing that's usually a good practice is before you imprint something like water or the sugar pellets for making homeopathic remedies that we do sell in our online store, or your online store, Irreplicated, or perhaps the bracelet or the foot insoles, the different things that you can imprint on, or maybe you want to do water. It's usually good to hit the erase button first, okay? And then you're just going to basically place the object here, or maybe you just got a bottle of water or just something you want to clear before you drink it. Or maybe you want to tune it to your energy. So you could even like buy supplements, for example, and then basically put it on here, erase, to help clear anything in there. By the way you know it's clear is this will kind of burn, and then all of a sudden, I don't know if you saw that, but it just kind of consolidated into a single point. It takes about 20 seconds. Once that is done, then you can basically just stop it, and then you're done. Okay, so then once you've cleared whatever you're about to imprint, then we just go back to the imprint button. And again, remember the top section is where you're going to put what you want to imprint. So let's just say it's a bottle of water, so we'll put it right here on the top, or maybe some supplements, something like that. And that's how you would imprint particular frequencies. What about the bottom? You're probably wondering that. So when you use the bottom is when you actually want to copy something. Okay, so you want to scan and say, I want to scan and copy a homeopathic remedy that I purchased, and I want to make a copy of it, and basically make a copy of it so I can duplicate it, and maybe I don't want to keep spending money on the one that I purchased, so I can just copy it, and I could put that into 1,000 sugar pellets, or a liter of water or something like that. And by the way, if you're doing water, you want to make sure that that water is structured. So if you have any questions about how to structure water, then you can just leave that below in the comments, and I will give you some products and tips. If you type in quantum stir wand, STIRWAND, quantum stir wand, that is a pretty low cost way to just stir your water and be able to structure it. And it does have some good studies behind it. So remember, this is again if you're copying something and you want to put it into whatever you're going to put here. All right. So like another example is you could take some sort of medication or something like that, and you could put it here. I had a lady the other day that took her son's asthma medication, put the medication down here, and then put the sugar pellets right up here. And that's it. Made a homeopathic remedy of the asthma medication, and had her son basically shift out of an asthma attack in about 2 minutes, which was unbelievable. So it worked just as effectively, and we've gotten stories like that for years. Okay, so that's how you would make a copy. Let's go back to the SEFI again. So let's go back a second. All right, so one thing you also may not know, If you use the inner voice and you did a recording and you got your report, you just did the usual, and then you went here and you did the vitals and you did a scan, and then you did the comprehensive and you did a scan. Now all those frequencies that were identified that your body would benefit from receiving, normally when we do these scans, you can hit the optimize frequencies button after the scan, and you can actually optimize all those things with therapeutic frequencies from the database, right? So the other option, though, is that you can, after you've done all the scans, you can go click on SEFI, and if you click on imprint, and you put something here, you will basically be able to imprint all of the frequencies that were found from the scans that would benefit you. So again, normally you can use the optimize frequencies button, right in the vital or the comprehensive or whatever. But the other thing is, if you want to continue to work with those frequencies on an ongoing basis, you basically give your body more time to kind of slowly pick up on it throughout your day or throughout the week. You can basically then go right to imprint. You can put, for example, the foot insoles, which are really powerful because those go up through the acupuncture points and just the special points on the bottom of both feet. That's a great way. You can get the necklace or the bracelet, and you just put it there and then you wear it. And this is also something you can do for somebody who doesn't have the device that wants to keep working with the frequencies over several days or a couple weeks. And so, yes, you can imprint that. Again, you can print it into like any substance, but we have designed the necklace, the bracelet, and the foot insoles. The mineral composition in there, it holds the charge really, really well. And it also emits some negative ions and infrared. So there's special properties to it. You charge it up in the sun every couple weeks. It's kind of well suited to basically to transmit frequencies that are embedded into it. So that's kind of cool. You can keep on working with all those frequencies. Also, because, and we usually recommend if you own the device, that if you are imprinting all the frequencies this way, you don't necessarily have to do, the optimize frequencies every single day. When you do an optimize session, that actual effect has a signaling cascade in the body that could last anywhere from like 24 to 48 hours. This is like true information sort of signaling therapy, if you will. So it lasts a while, and especially if you're going to wear those things you can imprint to receive the frequencies, that's going to be sustaining you in between sessions. So don't get too carried away. Your body actually doesn't need to constantly be doing these optimized sessions. Twice a day is exceptional. I would just stick to once a day or once every other day, once every couple days if you're doing the imprint function. And honestly, if you're imprinting and you're wearing something, you could really even go just a couple times a week. So I really love wearing the frequencies, especially on the bottom of my feet with the foot insoles. So yeah, so the optimize, we talked about how you can actually imprint those different various frequencies. In the case of the inner voice, after you hit record, right, then you get the recommendations for what types of chromotherapy lenses, the different colored lenses you should wear that day and work with. And you also get some audio tracks, right? And if you hit mail, you can mail them to yourself so you can listen to those audio tracks with different devices. Or you can push play and you can listen to those audio tracks right through the device itself. If you ever hit a record and you get the full assessment, if you ever hit the back button right here, go back to the screen, just letting you know, you'll lose all of your reports right here, okay? So once you pull everything, immediately email it to yourself, or if you plan on listening to it right on the device, just hit play immediately. But again, if you hit back, it will disappear and you have to re-record and pull that. So you may not know that. In terms of best way to work with the frequencies and sounds, basically, you would just use a normal regular pair of headphones to listen to the different MP3 tracks. And you can listen to those as much as you want. And we usually recommend that the best times to listen to that for that day is when you go through any sort of like emotional shift that happens that day. And generally the type of emotional shifts you're talking about is some type of stress or challenge, something like that. If you're like on a high all day and feeling great, you don't necessarily have to like keep listening to them. But if you are going through different shifts and you want to get back to feeling good again and feeling balanced, you're welcome to then listen to the audio tracks again. So that one is, you can definitely do it more often. These couple ones you don't really need to do as often, therapeutically speaking. And back to the SEFI here. Okay, so we showed how to imprint any of these helpful frequencies. We showed how to copy other things as well. You usually want to always erase before you re-imprint something. Okay, so if you're saying, hey, I want to re-imprint my whatever with these new fresh frequencies from my scans, of course the first step would be hitting erase and clearing that object, then afterwards imprinting. Because we want to clear what was re-imprinted before, the old frequencies. Also, in the case of those materials, those wearables that we sell, those are very susceptible to being imprinted by your environment and from different emotions. So if you happen to go through a stressful moment, you can actually kind of embed those stressful emotions or whatever you're dealing with in a chaotic environment into the materials. So you'd want to kind of erase and clear that and then re-imprint. Okay, so just another tip. You want to re-imprint periodically if you can. So that's for that. If we click on quantum reach, so you see the fractal amplifier, which is based off of a random number generator. If we were going to click on coordination, I don't know, anything, you have the option of 2 minutes or continuous. It's up to you. Once you receive a lot of this frequency on some kind of very foundational levels of your mind, foundational levels on your biology, you don't really need a lot of time. 2 minutes is pretty sufficient to kind of give the body-mind the message on what to shift. But you're also welcome to get continuous if you feel like you're getting better results that way. And so you can also imprint directly right here. So you can put, again, any of those substances or objects right here. It just takes 20 seconds, really, and then you're done. And you can wear or drink or whatever, and you can work with those frequencies in another way. And again, if you ever wanted to embed multiple things, you can just go back here, and you can pick something else. That's it. And then do the same thing with the object, and you can stack basically the imprints. So you can keep on imprinting new qualities into something. And obviously, if you want to start to work with something else, just erase what you imprinted, and you can reuse it and then re-imprint or go back and add new quantum reach frequencies. And then there's a lot of other things too down here and some additional programs that you can embed and imprint as well that are coming soon. And I think that's about it. Let's see here. The last thing to say is, so if you have somebody loaded up here other than yourself under existing client, so long as they're loaded up here, you can actually hit imprint or quantum reach or quantum frequency, and they don't have to be right there in the room. They don't have to be connected to the device with a headset or anything like that. Most of these programs in here, they actually are radionic in their effect, and they also act on the carrier wave of the radio frequency itself. So in other words, you can run any of these broadcasting to whoever you have loaded up in here. So That's just another thing. Is so we have years also of just great data, especially from practitioners who use the SEFI on clients that are remote, that and they can live literally anywhere. And you can just leave that transmitting for as long as you want to, essentially. But generally speaking, you don't have to really do it for hours and hours and hours. I would say the only exceptions are when there's like a really acute sort of situation that is urgent and you're trying to get results maybe in a shorter space of time because it's acute. I don't know, you can kind of make an exception for things like that maybe, and then see what your outcome is. If anybody has any questions about this video, you can just leave it below in the comments, and everybody, thanks for watching.